unload them in the main. And at the same time, going to push out with his force. Rhett running back here to defend, even at some spine crawlers. And look at those lings go to work, taking out that force for minimal losses. Very good job. Also at the same time, fighting over here. And Banelings just showing their power. Look at the army count here. Who says Zerg is not an effective army against Terran if you control it perfectly, as we saw there? Rhett just absolutely crushed that Terran force. And then immediately, with all his hatcheries, I mean, he has a hatch at every position besides the gold, so up to 5 hatches here, reinforced his army. And I think we are going to see more Ultras. Yeah, 5 Ultralisk coming in. And that will definitely help. Ultras, very hard for Terran players to deal with this. And Morrow, oh, I love Morrow's use of these little inlets here. I mean, this is such a strong position. They pretty much, yeah, this is so good, but he can't get out, so I guess that's the disadvantage. A couple lings getting picked off there. I mean, look at all those ling corpses on the ground, so I think that was a little bit of a mistake there. Did not want to let his lings go quite yet. And we do see some command centers being built, going to be Planetary Fortress, basically blocking off this side of the map. Planetary Fortress, very hard for Zerg to attack. But look at all these Ultras, and we still have this Nidus Worm, and I've been waiting for some sort of Nidus play to occur, but none has happened yet. And this is where I think the ZVT matchup is very hard for the Terran player. Once you start to see units like Ultralisk and Broodlords, and units like that, very hard for the Terran player to deal with it. Also considering, once you get so many expansions and such a huge area you have to defend against, it's so hard to effectively defend everything with like your tanks. I mean, you have to move them around, siege them and stuff. And Rhett is doing exactly what he needs to, kind of going back and forth, threatening both sides of Morrow's half of the base, and forcing Morrow to move his force back and forth, which is not what he wants to do. And here we go, big attack going down, killing those command centers. Tons of units flooding into the middle of Morrow's, but needs to continue the attack. Can't let his units getting picked off one by one. And look at that great fungal growth. Oh, this is unbelievable. How fast that Bio Ball melted to that amazing control of Rhett. And now Rhett is going to take out this gold expansion, and he has broken through the line, so if he continues his attack, going to be very hard for Morrow to defend against this. Morrow trying to do some nice kiting with his units in stim, and he is managing to take out some Ultras. And the Ultras actually kind of getting caught in this little trap here, trying to chase those tanks and getting taken out by the combined fire of the Planetary Fortress and the tanks. But this is like such a great transition by Rhett. He's making Broodlords around here. I know he is. There we go. Look at all those Broodlords. Morrow not going to be ready for this. And these Broodlords are going to wreck or do a lot of damage until Morrow is able to transition into a more Viking-heavy army. Yeah, and look at that. 6 Broodlords going to take out the tanks, going to take out the turrets, going to take out the Planetary Fortresses. And what are these lings doing? Oh no! Look at how fast these lings are going down to this Planetary Fortress. I almost think this is like throwing away lings here. He should have just ran them straight by. But Broodlords, though, they're so strong. So strong against this Bio army. And you have to remember, he's been upgrading Ultralisk. So these Broodlords, or their Broodlings, are 2-on-2 Broodlings. They're like mini Zerglings, you know? Just your infinite supply of mini Zerglings here. And even though they get roasted incredibly quickly, look how fast this Bioforce is going down, and Rhett doing a great job of taking advantage of this center area here and keeping his Broodlords back a little bit. Needs to actually pull them back a little bit more, so this Marine Force cannot effectively attack them. But we do see some Vikings starting to come out. And I wonder if we will see a transition back to Ultralisk. Yeah, it looks like that's exactly the case. And Vikings are terrible against Ultralisk. Like, it's not even fair. Because they are armored, and Ultras are just like, dead. So this is a very hard army for Morrow to deal with. Broodlord's going to take out this planetary fortress. Both these planetary fortresses are down. That planetary fortress going down as well. I'd really like to see some Ling run-bys here. Like, some Lings just being sent right here would be so devastating. But look at all these Ultras coming out. And Morrow did build a number of Vikings, but actually I think he realized this transition pretty quickly, so once again he went with more of a ground-heavy army. And looks like Rhett is forced to back up. Looking at this point, units lost. Rhett has definitely lost more. Looking at the income tab, Rhett up in the income though, and Rhett is maxed while Morrow is not. Looking at upgrades, Morrow doing a good job, being 3 and 2 of bio and 2 for mech. Anything for air, no. And once again, trying to solidify these positions. One thing that Terran can do in this position is try and completely run the Zerg out of minerals, and that's can be kind of frustrating to deal with. But look at all these Ultras. This is such a huge number of perfectly upgraded Ultras, like, or completely, I guess I should say, not perfectly. Ultras, and this is very hard to deal with for a Terran player as well. Looks like Morrow gonna get on the offensive here, trying to do some drops. Probably gonna try and come out down here and either pick off the Hive or maybe the Ultra Den or something like that. And a Nidus Worm going up for Rhett, but Morrow does see it. But will he get here in time to stop it? No, he won't. Ultralisk gonna be streaming through here. Oh, and only 3 getting out before it does get taken down. But these Ultralisks trying their best to chase these Stim Marines, and the Marines are like, oh my god, Ultralisk, run away! And they're trying their best to run away here, and to the rest of their forces, and I think Rhett does see this coming, so he's going to try and take out as many like SCVs and units as possible, instead kind of getting blocked up right here. And another Nidus Worm coming up. And here we go. Now we're going to see a lot of Ultralisks come out here. Is it actually going to get taken out by SCVs? Oh! And only 2 Ultralisks getting out of that Nidus once again. So this is not too good for Rhett. But he has enough hatcheries that he can easily replace these units. And looking at the food count, I mean, or the resource count, I believe, yeah, both players are quite high. Over 3,000 minerals for Rhett and 4,000 gas for Morrow. We also have Overlord drop, so that could be a very interesting choice. Looks like Rhett is not going to try any more Nidus play, though, at least for a little while, and going to maybe go back to more of a normal type of frontal siege. Or what? What does he bring his force over here for? Maybe we will see an Overlord drop. Ooh, looks like that is the case. So all these Overlords getting in, running back here to pick up all these units, and probably going to see an Overlord drop. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. I don't know. We'll have to see if that is the case. Nice, nice sensor tower placement by Morrow. I mean, you can see most forces coming from both sides here. I really like that. I'd even like maybe another one in the center. Just completely see everything coming. Medvac getting caught in that corner, doing a whole lot of nothing. He should join Mr. Corruptor here, doing a whole lot of nothing. And looks like Red's gonna go for this frontal assault here with just tons of Ultras and Infestors. And if Infestors can get some nice fungal growths, oh no, they all got taken out. Terrible. But the Planetary Fortress are down, and the Ultralisk are going to be able to fight this force a little bit, but that was actually not a very good attack by Rhett. He lost a lot there. Looking at the unit loss tab, yeah, Rhett's losses definitely starting to pile up. Once again, we are seeing some more Broodlords. I'd like to see, I mean, just all Rhett needs here is some key fungal growth on that bio ball, I think, to effectively deal with this. Oh, look at all of these Vikings joining the fray, and I think Morrow feels very good position here, going to try and take out this gold expansion, and I think Rhett is just going to let him at this point. Does not really have the forces to completely fight yet. I think Morrow, let's see. Yeah, Morrow is supply capped. Rhett has a little way to go. Not much, but got some units. And Rhett actually going for this huge Corruptor force. I don't like that decision at all. Corruptor's terrible against Corruptors are terrible against Vikings, but I think Mutas would probably have fared better. But oh well, we'll have to see if it works out for Rhett. Do we have any air upgrades? No, we do not. That could really help him as well. Armor, pretty good against Vikings as they do 2 attacks. Broodlord's going to poke in here, do some of their Broodlord magic, going to take out those units. And now we are going to see a huge Corruptor Viking battle. The Corruptors, there might be enough here to actually win. Ooh, I don't know. It's going to be close. Kind of doing a nice back and forth dance here. Maybe like to see some corruption fall down, but none occurring yet. And these Broodlords just continuing to rampage on this force of Morrow. Corruptors doing their best to pick out Vikings. Corruptors only have a range of 6, but I think they are a little faster than Vikings, so that allows them to do some damage. And it's kind of funny, I say only have a range of 6. Yeah, well, Vikings have the ridiculous range of 9, so I guess compared to that, only having a range of 6 is kind of sad. But we are going to see the Ultras joining the fray here, but Morrow just having the impeccable control that he's known for, and able to stim away with his forces. It looks like the Vikings are going to slightly beat the Corruptors. Oh, look at all of these Vikings so close to dying. That's just so painful to see. But look at all these Corruptors going to take care of the Vikings now and give the Broodlords air superiority, which is what they need here. Needs to be careful though, cannot allow the Broodlords to get sniped. But Morrow having great control, killing off Ultralists left and right. I mean, even the Ultras cannot really help here. And this is looking not good for Red at all. Oh, I do not like this. The only thing he has going for him is Morrow's SCV count going down quite a bit. But you know what? He is Terran. He has mules, so what's it matter, right? I mean, look at this. Over 2,000 with like 5 minerals on the gold, or 5 mules on the gold. Ah, just completely ridiculous. You like almost don't even need an army, or need an economy late game once you have a couple gold. Broodlords continuing to be a threat here against Morrow. And forcing the tanks to really kill each other more than the Broodlords are killing them. And Morrow going with this huge Viking force, and I'd love to see like a fast transition to ground forces. I mean, like I said, all Morrow really, or Ret really needs here is a nice fungal growth. Even throwing up some spore crawlers here to try and defend against these Vikings. But yeah, Corruptor's not the answer against Vikings, as we can see here. Well, I mean, he doesn't have shit for Corruptors right now, but still, just not the answer. They're not good against Vikings. I don't know why Ret's continuing to build them here. Mutas would do so much better. But here we go. Ret's gold expansion going to go down once again, but he is did manage to pull most of his workers, so not a loss in that sense. Vikings trying to find a good place to harass. I guess they're just going for overlords at this point. Ret has quite a large number. Ooh, and no! He's actually supply blocked. So this is very frustrating to deal with. This is actually going to slow him down for quite a bit. Oh, he's severely supply blocked. He needs to get some more overlords out ASAP. Looking at the units lost tab though, Ret's lost so much more than Morrow that he needs to win soon, or he's going to find himself in a position where, oh, what's going on back here? Overlord drop, putting some lings into the main of Morrow, but Morrow responded to it very quickly. Did see those overlords with the scanning tower, or sensor towers there. Very, very excellent play by Morrow. And man, did you see that? Oh, that medvac gave like a thumbs up. Just looked terrible. I don't know. The random things you notice. Nice Thors kind of spread across the map here, helping with the anti-air. Really, Morrow doesn't need it though that much. Once again, this gold expansion trying to be taken by Ret, and this is the force I wanted to see before. Morrow has a lot of supply invested in these Vikings, and Ret did a nice transition to almost a fully ground force. And if, like I said, if he can get those key fungal growths off on this bio ball, I think he will be able to break it, and that'll put Ret in just a great position if he can do that. So we are going to see an attack here. Ret going to go for it. Will this? Oh no! Actually, deciding to back up and losing forces there, and I think Ret just saw the force and gave the GG. So almost there.